Welcome to the Expensive Coins History channel. Imagine holding a penny. Just a single, ordinary, copper-colored coin. Now imagine that coin is actually worth thousands of dollars. That's not a fantasy. That's the reality of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. A coin that hides in plain sight, one you might already own, and it could be worth far, far more than just 1 cent. This isn't clickbait. This is a deep dive into one of the most shocking and overlooked coins in modern U.S. history, the 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Its story, its rarity, its unexpected value in today's market, and how collectors in 2025 are going absolutely wild over it. Let's uncover the truth behind this tiny copper giant. In 1981, the United States Mint was still producing Lincoln cents using a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. These coins weighed about 3.11 grams and had been using this metal blend for decades. The iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln was still on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909 and still used to this day. But here's the first twist: coins minted in Philadelphia in 1981 carried no mint mark at all. That means if you're holding a 1981 penny and you see no tiny letter under the date, you're looking at one that came from the Philadelphia Mint. Now, that fact alone doesn't make it rare. But certain 1981 pennies, with the right condition, strike, composition, or error, are anything but ordinary. Here's where things get truly interesting. In 1982, the U.S. Mint began transitioning from heavy copper pennies to cheaper zinc ones, coated in copper. These new coins weighed only 2.5 grams, a noticeable difference. But by 1981, that transition had already begun behind the scenes. This means that some coins, either struck on leftover planchets or in the midst of this changeover, may be incorrectly composed or misstruck. There are rumors of 1981 cents being struck on lighter planchets meant for the 1982 zinc coins. And if you find one, it's not just unusual, it could be an ultra-rare transitional error that sells for thousands. The average 1981 Lincoln penny in your pocket probably isn't worth more than face value. But not all coins are created equal. Some were struck with extreme precision, preserved in flawless condition, and still gleam like the day they were minted. When these coins are graded professionally, especially in mint state 66, 67, or higher, they become extremely desirable to collectors. Combine that with the fact that copper coins tend to tone and degrade quickly, and finding a bright red, well-struck 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a genuine challenge. Even more shocking, the value of these coins in the right grade. Some have sold for over $3,000, and in some cases, with exceptional eye appeal and luster, even more. And if you're lucky enough to find a 1981 cent with a significant error, a double die, off-center strike, or broad strike, your small copper coin might explode in value. Now let's talk about the signs you need to watch for, the clues that can reveal a hidden gem hiding in plain sight. First, check the weight. A proper copper 1981 penny should weigh approximately 3.11 grams. If it weighs 2.5 grams, you may have a rare transitional error struck on a zinc planchet. Second, examine the color. Collectors love red coins, those with original red luster from the mint. The redder and shinier, the better. Third, look for errors. Using a magnifying glass or coin loop, check for doubling in the date or lettering. That's known as a double die and can dramatically increase a coin's worth. Fourth, inspect the strike. Weakly struck coins are common, but strong, bold strikes with sharp detail are rare and valuable. Finally, get it graded. If your coin shows no signs of wear, full luster, and looks uncirculated, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. The grade it receives could turn your penny into a jackpot. Now we come to the part everyone wants to know: how much is it really worth in 2025? Here's the reality: the value of coins is driven by three things: rarity, demand, and condition. And in 2025, collector demand for early 1980s copper pennies is stronger than ever. A standard uncirculated 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent might sell for $5 to $25. A certified MS-65 red could go for $75 to $200. Jump up to MS-67 red, and you're easily in the $500 to $1,500 range. But it doesn't stop there. Coins with exceptional luster, flawless surfaces, or rare errors have fetched over $5,000 at auction. And if you're holding a 1981 penny that turns out to be a transitional error, say, struck on a zinc planchet by mistake, you could be sitting on a coin worth over $10,000. That's not hype. That's the real value of rarity in numismatics. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is the perfect example of why coin collecting is so thrilling. It proves that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets. It's a coin you might overlook 100 times, until you realize it could be the rare gem collectors are fighting to own. So before you toss that penny in the tip jar, weigh it. Inspect it. Appreciate it. Because sometimes, 1 cent is worth far more than you think. Did this video blow your mind? Then smash that like button. The 1990 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, a coin that should never have existed, but somehow slipped past the watchful eyes of the United States Mint, and in 2025, it's worth far more than just 1 cent. To the average person, a penny from 1990 is just another coin. But seasoned collectors know that there's one very specific version of this coin that breaks all the rules, a version that, by all logic, shouldn't be possible, because in 1990, something unusual happened. A batch of proof pennies, specially made for collectors, somehow made it into circulation without their identifying mint mark. These weren't coins struck for everyday use. They were made using polished dies, with a mirror-like finish and sharp, flawless details, intended for high-quality collector sets, and yet, a tiny number of them left the mint with a critical error. No mint mark at all. Normally, proof pennies from 1990 would have been struck at the San Francisco Mint and should display a clear S mint mark just below the date. But these rare error coins are completely blank in that spot. The absence of the mint mark isn't a scratch, it's not a defect, and it's certainly not something caused by circulation wear. It is a true minting mistake, an official proof coin, struck with proof dies, without the mint mark that confirms its origin, and that makes it one of the most famous modern rarities in United States coinage. What makes this even more shocking is the extreme rarity of this error. Only a very small number of these coins have ever been discovered. Over 30 years later, new examples still surface occasionally, but they're almost always found in original, unopened proof sets. Not only is it rare, it's specific. This isn't a coin you'll find in pocket change. It's not floating around in everyday circulation. It's a proof coin, and it only came from specially packaged proof sets issued in 1990. Why does it matter today? Because in 2025, this 1 cent coin, if it's the right one, can be worth thousands of dollars. The value of a 1990 no mint mark Lincoln proof penny depends heavily on its condition. Coins that have been preserved in pristine, untouched state, those graded between PR 68 and PR 70, can bring in incredible sums. For example, coins in near-perfect proof condition can easily command $3,000 to $5,000, while those graded a flawless PR 70 deep cameo can fetch prices soaring above $10,000 or more in the right market. In rare instances, some sales have even exceeded $15,000, depending on collector demand, timing, and visibility at auction. And here's the twist: the value continues to climb. As fewer ungraded examples remain and more collectors chase this mysterious error, imagine buying a sealed 1990 proof set at a yard sale or from an estate auction and finding this rare coin inside. It's happened before. And in 2025, with rising demand for rare numismatic pieces, it's happening more often than you'd think. So how do you know if you have one? Let's go over what to look for. How to identify the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It must be a proof coin, not a circulation strike. Look for deep mirrored fields and frosted devices. There should be no mint mark under the date. No S. Not even a trace. It must come from a proof set. These coins were never released for general use. Avoid damage or cleaning. The highest values go to coins in pristine condition. If your coin meets all of these conditions, you might be holding one of the most valuable pennies minted in the modern era. At first glance, this may seem like just another penny, but its story proves otherwise. It's a coin that slipped through the cracks of perfection. A mistake that became a legend. And in today's coin market, that mistake could be worth more than a month's paycheck. Collectors are actively hunting for these coins. Dealers are offering thousands. And with every passing year, the number of unclaimed examples continues to shrink. That's why this particular penny, struck in 1990, without its mint mark, remains one of the most shocking and talked about modern US coin errors of all time. So before you toss that penny aside, check again. One tiny detail can make all the difference between a common coin and an extraordinary payday. The 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This is not just pocket change, this is a potential fortune. 1993 Lincoln penny, the 1 cent coin that could change everything. The 1993 Lincoln penny was struck in the billions. At first glance, it's one of the most ordinary coins in American history. No silver, no gold, no fancy design changes, just the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But one detail changes everything. This version bears no mint mark. It was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically did not add a mint mark to pennies. While that's not unusual, something else is. Despite the massive mintage, very few of these coins survive in pristine, untouched, uncirculated condition. Even fewer have the kind of errors or striking anomalies that collectors dream about. And that is where things get interesting. A coin doesn't need to be old to be rare. It just needs to be rare in the right condition. Over the last 3 decades, the vast majority of 1993 pennies have been circulated, damaged, worn, or even destroyed. The few that have survived in mint state condition, especially with full red color and no blemishes, have become incredibly desirable to collectors. Now add this, coins with striking errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or the elusive close AM reverse variety, are now commanding eye-popping prices. We're talking hundreds to thousands of dollars, all for a coin people used to overlook. So while the average 1993 penny may still be worth 1 cent, those that meet the right criteria, they're now considered treasures. In 2025, coin collecting has seen a resurgence like never before. With inflation, the rise of digital collectibles, and a new generation of treasure hunters scouring their change, the demand for rare coins, even modern ones, has exploded. So what does that mean for the 1993 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? Let's break it down. A circulated 1993 penny is still only worth its face value, 1 cent. A mint state example, with full red luster, no scratches, and minimal contact marks, can fetch between $1 and $5. In gem uncirculated condition, especially grades MS66 and higher, value rises dramatically, ranging from $10 to $50, depending on eye appeal. The truly elite examples, MS68 or MS69 red designation, are exceptionally rare and can sell for hundreds, even up to several $1,000s, especially when certified by major grading services. Combine that with a rare error or variety, and you could be looking at a coin worth $1,000 to $5,000 or more in today's market. And yes, people have paid those prices. In fact, high-grade, flawless examples of this penny have shattered expectations at auction houses and private sales. But be warned, only the absolute best coins will reach those heights. Now let's talk about the real jackpot, the errors and varieties that turn this coin from interesting to legendary. The most famous is the close AM reverse variety. On most 1993 pennies, the letters A and M in America are widely spaced. But in a few rare examples, they're touching or nearly touching. This wasn't supposed to happen in 1993, and collectors know it. That variety alone can raise the value of a penny to hundreds of dollars, even in circulated condition. Other valuable errors include double die obverse, doubling in the letters of Liberty, or the date off-center strikes, especially those with at least 10 to 50% misalignment, die cracks or die breaks, creating dramatic raised lines across Lincoln's face, or the memorial clipped planchets, coins that were cut improperly, resulting in missing metal along the edges struck through grease, where part of the design is missing due to debris on the die. Collectors pay big money for unique, eye-catching mint errors, especially when certified and in excellent condition. If you've got a 1993 penny lying around, check it carefully. Don't dismiss it as junk. Don't spend it just yet. Because here's how to find out if you've got a winner. Check the date, make sure it says 1993 and has no mint mark under the date. Inspect for damage, scratches, spots, and discoloration. Lower the value. Look at the reverse. Are the A and M in America close together? You may have a close AM variety. Use a magnifying glass. Look for doubling in the letters or signs of a mint error. Determine the color. Coins graded red are worth more than brown or red-brown. Consider certification. If your coin looks perfect, send it to a professional grading service. The investment could pay off big. Remember, a coin sitting in your kitchen drawer might be worth far more than you think. It only takes one rare feature to change everything. The 1993 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin you've passed over 1,000 times, is now one of the most talked about modern coins in collecting. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious about coins in your change jar, this is one penny you can't afford to ignore. Have you checked your coins lately? Because the next time you spot a 1993 penny, it might not be pocket change, it might just be your next payday. Hit like if you learned something new. Subscribe for more deep dives into rare coins, valuable finds, and the wild world of numismatics. And tell us in the comments, do you have a 1993 Lincoln cent? Maybe you're holding a treasure.